Here, get in the circle with me. Dip sit down too.
Alos said, his devilish horns above the fire as he poured in the same white powder into the flames, exploding upon contact which the creature didn't seem to mind at all.
I am now done with all the Indians' preparations. Now I will provide the smoke the essence of what it needs to make a connection to your brother Nick, make a connection to Aegon. Dip, if you don't mind. May I see the samples?
I looked over at Dip, his hands stuffed in his pocket as he reached for something, pulling out a vial, the dark red blood inside swirling. He handed it over to Alos, who looked over at me.
Thank you for your contribution, Nick.
As he unscrewed the cap, tipping it over, letting the blood drip and soak into the burning logs. The fire seemed to react to it, smoke emerging from where the blood had landed, and the smoke circle above us now creeping closer and closer to us. It was now above our heads, and me, raising my hand, would intercept the smoke swirling above. The smoke then grew, flowing slowly down to the ground and creating a circular barrier contained the three of us. I looked at Deb's face. A look of terror appeared while Alos continued to stare into the heart of the flames between us, the smoke rising viciously above, filling the walls that now fully enclosed us. I now could feel my head start to swell, my eyes swaying back and forth, and a lightheadedness being my only thought. I blinked, my eyes staying shut a little longer than usual, but eventually finding the strength to open them. I saw Dip, his head bent down as he stared at the ground, presumably unconscious. I then looked at Alos, who stared directly at me, unfazed by anything.
We will be there soon, Nick. Together. But you have to give in to what your body says.
Alos spoke, my head then dropping before I gave a response. I lay down. The earth felt cold as the red light above me shone dimly on the ground. I was no longer next to the fire from where I had grouped with Dip and Alos, now somewhere new. A place that seemed distinct but similar to the planet I knew. I looked around, myself laying in an open patch, surrounded by long, skinny tree-like trunks which stood upright, hoisting a small bush on top with gray and brown leaves. I looked deeper into the forest, trying to find anything that could lead me to something, confused on what to do next. My soul felt anxious, my breathing speeding up, reflecting my heartbeat. Then it froze, an object being laid on my shoulder blade, a chill running down my spine as I reacted, turning around and seeing Dip, hoisting his first finger to his lips, signaling me to be quiet. He then grabbed my jacket, pulling me and now going deeper into the woods. I had so many questions rushing in my mind at the time. Where we were at, where we are headed, what is lurking in the woods for which we have to be quiet. I then paused in my tracks for a second, my feet feeling the cold and wet feeling of water. I looked down. My feet dipped in a soft flowing stream, the water clear, shining the black and silver bottom below. Dip pulled me along more, now pulling me out and walking the bank.
We will follow this till we hit canyons. Keep your eyes peeled for anything that could be hunting us, and stay close. Please.
Dip quietly said to me, pulling along 5 feet in front of me. I was quiet during our walk, the leaves above allowing little of the red streaks which illuminated the sky to shine our path. Eventually, I saw the ginormous canyon Dip spoke about, my neck stretching as I looked for the top. I stopped for a second, then noticing Dip look back after he had pulled ahead, myself regrouping with him. Within a minute, we walked among the canyon, following the river which curved along the ravine created. I looked up, both of my sides not far from the sheer canyon sides, closing us in. We walked for nearly a half-mile, the wind above us shrieking as it went through, creating an eerie feeling within. The walls expanded, creating an opening where small huts laid in. Dip approached the homes. Smaller creatures draped in a cloth like blanket coming out of them. Dip knelt down beside them as I heard him speak.
We are looking for the child they call Agon, man of the Nahiti tribe.
The creature looked at Dip, the clothing masking any visible descriptions of the being as it nodded, its head up and down, supposedly meaning yes. Dip looked back at me with a smile, now following the creature as it led us to a giant lizard, its scales being bigger than my hands in a gray-blue tint. I looked at the creature amazed, reminding me of the bearded dragon my science teacher had when I was a kid, but the length passing that of a school bus.
Let's get on,
Dip declared, hoisting himself up on the lizard, myself following. The lizard started to scurry, myself gripping onto Dip's clothes as he held the ropes attached to the animal. We raced along the river, myself looking up and seeing giant birds above fly above the top of the canyon as we stayed protected besides the rocks. The lizard then took a hard turn, nearly throwing me off its body as it went to a cave. In the pitch blackness, we kept moving, a 5-minute ride later eventually leading us to the surface, now looking up and seeing the black sky again, illuminated this time with blue stripes. Now the lizard started to pick up speed, an open field in which it could race, on which it did, extending our journey till we finally had come to our destination. Me and Dip stared at the hole, centered in an empty field with a staircase leading down below. We both stepped down from our rides back, the lizard leaving back from where it had come from, leaving me and Dip with no other option. We started to walk down this path, the desert like red stone being illuminated with flaming torches on the wall. Down below the surface was an open area greeting us, shaped like a circle with 3 paths from where we could choose from. We went to the middle of the circle, looking down all 3 pathways before a man called out,
"You must be from the world."
A man appeared, dressed in long brown feathers which covered him.
Friends of Alos and the Ohika tribe.
Dip replied, showing both of his hands, which I followed suit.
"You came here through smoke. Why?"
The Indian asked. "We are looking for my brother. I heard your people call him Agon. My mother calls him Will. I hope you know who he is," I said to the man. He nodded, turning around and walking down a hallway. I looked to our sides, a door about 7 feet spaced apart from each other, with no look inside to the room. The Indian now stopped after 40 feet down the hallway, knocking on a door. The door opened, a man opening it, not much older than me. He expanded both his arms, reaching to me and squeezing me, almost in celebration. I looked at him, a mirror reflection of myself, seeing my brother for the first time. I then looked behind him, Aloe sitting by and watching as we celebrated. The moment lasted a few more seconds before being interrupted.
We have to go. We need to get everyone home.
Aloe said, getting up and going for the door. We followed him outside, a futuristic but rustic metal vehicle floating above the ground meeting us outside. Aloe hopped in, followed by Will, then a reluctant Dip, and finally me. The driver then raced off, speeding across a barren and desolate landscape. I looked to our sides, the world not being populated with any signs of a civilization, like a deserted dark wasteland. A few minutes passed before reaching our destination, an indented circle with the middle holding a fire pit. We went down in the pit, Alos lighting the fire and smoke coming up, faster than the pit at earth. A roar then came from behind us, shaking the earth and the log knocking down in the fire. I looked over, the silhouette of a large dark creature staring at us, its razor-sharp teeth being its main attraction. I then watched in horror as it stepped toward us, now charging as if it was a bull and the fire was a red cape. I then heard footsteps behind me, Alos leaving the pit and going between myself and the creature. He waved his hands, now distracting the creature as it refocused on him. Alos started to run to the side, the creature following as it pulled away from us. I watched as Alos continued his trek away, the smoke from above now creating walls around us, encapsulating us, as my brain then went into a sleepy trance. We woke up to the daylight. The green grass and common sounds of bugs gave me a feeling I was back home. I looked over to my side, seeing Will, who was now home too, then Dip still asleep beside. I then looked around more, searching for Alos for whom I couldn't find.
Where are we?
Will asked, a slight groan after as he stretched his arms outward. This is Earth. This is the planet you were born on. I replied back, noticing Will's arm move, blocking the sunlight above.
It's so bright.
He said to me, his eyes flickering as he tried to adjust. Yeah, but you will get used to it. I promise. You can stay with me, and you will learn to live a normal life. I replied back. Will looked at me, a look of confusing and sadness as he spoke.
I thought I had a normal life.